The United States answer to what Adlai Stevenson termed Soviet blackmail in Cuba was a quarantine of all offensive weapons being shipped from Russia to that island fortress. The U.S. threw up a steel fence, prepared to stop any vessel carrying materials of war. In Cuba itself, 100,000 men were put under emergency orders as they had been during past invasion scares. The waterfront in Havana and along other parts of the coast bristled with gun emplacements as the Cuban regime waited to see what their bosses in the Kremlin were to do. Cuba became the focus of world attention. Here centered the most critical threat of global war since the surrender of Germany 17 years ago.
A veces entra en contradicción con las posibilidades de libre acceso ilimitado de una manera desordenada a cualquier lugar de las costas del país. Eso se puede lograr, pero hay que tener una adecuada conciliación con las autoridades cubanas para que el desarrollo de los deportes náuticos no abra ninguna fisura a nuestra seguridad nacional, y eso lo vamos a dar siempre una prioridad.
The island of Cuba has more than 11 million residents, thousands of miles of spectacular coastline, and a thriving sports culture. But the country counts only about 200 surfers, roughly the same number that paddle out at our home break in Venice Beach on any given afternoon. Thanks to the U.S. trade embargo and Cuba's communist government, you can't buy a surfboard in Cuba. In fact, you can't even give one away. There's no leashes, no wax, no surf magazines or online surf reports, and just going more than 50 feet from shore is a jailable offense. So in December 2008, we traveled to Havana to meet a small group of surfers struggling to establish a niche for their sport in Cuba's restrictive society, and to explore the incredible surfing potential of this forbidden paradise just miles from our own border.
You know, Cubans can stay at night, close to the shore. Even you can sleep beside the water if you want. Because that's
not allowed?
No, it's forbidden. You can do that. So we sleep up there, really harsh. And in the morning we surf, and like I say, sometimes we spend whole weekend here.
I don't know if the government thinks in a moment that something is wrong, they just take it, they cut it from the roots. They have been doing that for these years of revolution, so this sport represents a very, very, very sometimes dangerous stuff, because if we make or say something wrong, we create a trouble and stop the development of this sport in the country.
No había oleaje aquí, estábamos desesperados por surfear allá. Y cuando llegamos a Baracoa, bueno, los guardafronteras no nos permitieron entrar al agua porque decían que nos íbamos a ir del país nadando.
Cuba's best waves are on the far eastern tip of the island, in the lush Guantanamo province, about a 2-day drive from Havana. This is one of Cuba's most remote regions, regularly battered by hurricanes from the North Atlantic, and rarely visited by most Cuban surfers, whose limited resources make it almost impossible to travel.
Hay lugares a los cuales tú llegas que vas a surfear por primera vez ahí y nadie ha visto una tabla de surfear en la vida. Han visto las olas romper ahí en su playa, pero nunca han visto una tabla de surfear, ni a nadie subido en una ola. Cuando tú llegas ahí y empiezas a surfear la ola, la gente se pone como loca, se quedan ahí el día entero mirándote, mirando lo que haces y aplaudiendo, riéndose y emocionados, ¿entiendes? Es una cosa muy bonita, es una cosa muy bonita.
Ese carácter desafiante de la juventud para dominar las olas se ha encauzado para desafiar todos los problemas que este país tiene para su desarrollo económico y social. Y lo que he visto es un patrón común. Los practicantes de deportes extremos son personas retadoras, fuertes de carácter, decididas, independientes, animosos, y que siempre serán, en muchos aspectos, una vanguardia de la sociedad.
Mano para arriba, Cuba.